Welcome to Singapore. We're so excited to be here and to show you guys the next 2 days of adventure.
2 days out of the 90 we're spending in Asia. We are the Blasian Travelers, a DIS family who works jobs and uses PTO to travel the world while staying on budget and maximizing value. And today we're in Singapore, trying to experience a ton for a little.
So right now, waiting in line for Big Short Coffee. This is the coffee shop I actually bookmarked on Instagram. But earlier today, we actually stopped at Waves, which is right next door. It was actually one of the best coffees I've ever had. Just check it out.
I don't think we've ever really tasted coffee like this.
And now we just finished eating, and then we decided to come back and get some coffee before we explore the area some more. So this coffee doesn't look like it tastes as good, like as smooth and as like good of a bean, but there's so many creative takes on coffee and what it is. So we're gonna check it out. I waited in line for like 15 minutes. Kat left the line because it was too long and it's hot out here. It's like 90 degrees. So I'm gonna go in and order 2 drinks, and hopefully she's satisfied with the drink I ordered for her. For white.
Doors are closing.
Now we're back here. We're at the Marina Barrage, going to Marina by the Bay. The coffee shop was really amazing. It was actually really great. It was unique. I will say that the first coffee that we had was actually a lot better in terms of the expertise in the crafting and how smooth it was. This one didn't taste as coffee. Not that it's like bad or good in any way. It's just have more fruity flavors and other things added to the drink itself. But it was pretty good. If you want just crazy stuff, foam, you want to just post on Instagram, I would go to it. The line was relatively long. It took me about 20 minutes to get my drink. That's between ordering and waiting for it. The other one, it was super quick. Even when they did get busy, it still maybe took people like 5 minutes. So there's that. But now we're going to explore some more. Maybe we go into gardens by the bay, and we might go into the cloud forest. I actually don't think we're gonna go there because it's too expensive. I'm thinking about going into the observation deck or into the skywalk. We'll see. We don't really like spending too much money on things. It's $14, hopefully a Singaporean dollar. So if it is, we might go, and there's no line, we might go. But there's so many people here flying kites, flying all sorts of things, just relaxing, having picnics, having photo shoots, like taking videos. It is super relaxing. You can't have tents or chairs, but you can just lay something out on the ground, sit there, lay there, eat some food, and just relax ultimately. I believe it is pet friendly. I believe I've seen people bring pets and stuff. So babies, pets, you got bikers, you got scooters.
And obviously it's really beautiful over here. It's a lot of greenery, but Singapore is just like this. All around the city, you'll see a lot of trees, a lot of shrubs and plants, super green. There's even a massive public transportation system, which is how we've been getting around. You don't need to buy a Metro card, have coins or anything like that. It's really advanced and just eco-friendly all around. Like even places like here, like the shuttles and the electric shuttle.
Am I allowed to change my answer from earlier? So when it gets dark, they always turn the lights on, and I was waiting for that moment. But at this time, they're promoting like Lilo and Stitch and something else that's happening. So they have a whole music show happening. I feel like even without the music show happening behind me, it's probably worth it to go up to the top of the sky deck or the observation tower. During the light show, it looks completely different, and I can see why it would be worth it. It is still an amazing show down here. But during the daylight, I don't think you necessarily need to go above. At nighttime, it's a different story. so this is actually where we ate earlier. We had food from Hawker Chan. Supposed to be the #1 first hawker store that was awarded a Michelin star. I think he got it in 2016. But what's even crazier is that they have like 7, 8 locations, or at least in 7, 8 different countries. But they have one in Kazakhstan, which is crazy and random. But this is where you order earlier. Earlier there was a large line. People didn't realize that you can just order from these behind me. So when you get here, these booths behind me, or these vending machine type looking things, order from any of the restaurants. So you don't have to stay in the restaurant's line. By the time I got my food, the person that was in front of me was still in line, the person behind me was still in line, and there was still 3 more people that were ahead of where I was supposed to be. So this is definitely a lot more quicker by about 10 to 15 minutes. Basically, this place is full of a bunch of Michelin star rated restaurants or X-rated restaurants. This door like closes really fast, so let me press it. And basically they have like a shop that I've seen all over Thailand in the stalls that actually has the Michelin guide. The place we went to, I'm not sure if it's currently Michelin rated, but he does have the esteem and the pride in the fact that he was the first hawker store rated.
And so, continuing off the other day, where Kat was like, this is the first time she got to choose a place, we let her choose again. And so she found this place called Rookie and House, and it's basically a concept store. So it's like half streetwear, in-house brand, vintage stuff as well. And then they have matcha here as well. They are known for the banana pudding matcha, which I decided to get. And just look at this. That lets you know how it's going to be. The banana pudding was good, but for the price, it was not worth it in my opinion, and the matcha was It was $9.50 Singaporean dollars, which is about $7.50 US.
It is day 2 here in Singapore, and I'm actually trying to eat at this place right now that I found by visiting a Michelin restaurant. Unfortunately, it is cash only. It is the street food. Today we want to eat street food and hawkers, which is basically like street food stands. But they're usually cash only. We've been playing with card. Everywhere in Singapore, even the trains, it's usually card. So the lady at this lovely coffee shop right there said there was an ATM. So I'm about to walk to the ATM exchange, and then we'll see what it is. All right, so I made it back. It was only like a 3-minute walk, but as you can see, there's a line outside of the restaurant, so we're gonna go in and check it out. Doesn't look too crazy, but let's see. Some money. Thank you. Waited about, what would you say, 15, 20 minutes? 15 minutes, Kat's already done with her food. So we're gonna give it a try. I have no clue what I ordered. I just know it's pork noodle, and it's been a staple here for at least 80 years. I think right now it's been like 90 years they've been operating this place. So we're gonna give it a try. It looks like this little dry seafood right here. We got our ground pork. This looks like beef. Yep. Some wontons. And meatballs, which I'm not gonna eat because I don't eat meatballs like this. And I got the dry soup version, so it comes with these egg noodles. The other one looks like it had rice noodles in it. I'm gonna give it a try, and it comes with like a side of a soup. So let's try the wonton first. It has a very unique taste, the wonton. I think it's just the soup. It slightly has a chili. He asked if I wanted chili. I don't know if he just asked just because I'm obviously a foreigner, but it has more of a limey, lemony taste, some type of citrusy taste to it than spice actually. Let me test the noodles to see if it tastes the same. All right, I know the flavor. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but for me, I don't really like or love buffalo wings. Like, I'll eat it if it's at a party. The pork is really good. It's tasty. It's soft. Finished off my meal with a 3-layer coffee. Now, like I said before, we've been to Malaysia and they have kopios here, which is basically coffee and all the kopis, right? That's the first time I've seen the 3-layer coffee. I didn't know what it was. It looked like it was orange juice at the top, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't orange juice. When I got it, I was like, that's not what the photo looked like. It was like brown at the top. Basically, it was coffee at the top, which I thought the coffee was at the bottom. It wasn't. And then it was milk in the middle. Might have been soy milk. And then the bottom part of it was like brown sugar, like the brown sugar boba without the boba. It was actually really good, really tasty. It wasn't super sweet. The lady told Kat that if it was too sweet, come back and she'll give us ice, but it really wasn't. But Kat had the food, and let's see what she says about her duck. The duck was actually good. The pork was good. The duck was actually good. The pork was good as well, but it was just a little cold. It was char siu pork, which is one of my favorite porks. But
I love the pork more than I like the duck. It was a little bit too gamey for me, and I honestly wish I got double pork and then one thing of duck. But for the price, 8 Singaporean dollar, that was so much meat, and that was really cheap. That was probably like I would get that again, just more pork. But
you actually like my thing better than I did, right?
yeah. I really like his noodles. It just reminds me of like, I'm not saying it's like Thai food, but it's like the Thai flavors of like the lime and the spices, the aroma, and I like the texture of his noodles as well. So
Yeah, so not too bad. Both of our meals were $8. I would say that some of the other stalls, like we passed the Golden Mile Center, which is like a food street center stall area. I don't know. It was like $4 for meals there.
Yeah.
This is almost double. And I'm pretty sure the guy next door raised his price as well because he's like, hey, they're getting business and people don't want to wait in line, so they'll come over here. I will say that noodle dish I had probably had the most amount of meat of any of the dishes I've had so far since being here. It did have a lot of ground beef, it did ground pork, it did have a lot of sliced pork as well, and the meatballs. And her $8 duck thing was actually a lot of meat. Duck and pork was enough for one, definitely. Probably had about 40 grams. Oh yeah, Kat definitely reminded me. So we basically had similar yesterday, but they did run out of the char siu pork. So we just got crispy pork. Here, this guy ran out of the crispy pork. But Kat was saying that, and I didn't even think about it. Yesterday we got a 3-combo meal. Here, the 3-combo meal was $8. Over there, the 3-combo meal was like $25 it cost us for all of that. So this is a third of the price, and that was at the Marina Bay Sands area. So same amount of food, a third of the price over here than getting it over there. That's a big difference.
huge. So there's obviously lots of restaurants, souvenir shops, Turkish restaurants. Why do you think there's a lot of Turkish?
I don't know. This whole street is like Turkey restaurant and Mediterranean. It's like this is a Turkish spot right there. Right next to is a Turkish spot.
Right next to us.
Yeah, it's so much. But yeah, this is where the mosque is, the Sultan Mosque, which is like the grand mosque here in Singapore. I forgot when Singapore became its own country, but pretty much this building was built in 1924. But going all around, right, in the 1800s, I believe, the Sultan lived in this area and wanted to have a mosque and masjid built right next door. So he pretty much had it. But it basically reminds me of the surrounding area, reminds me of like Old Town Phuket, and then this area has a mix of, Kat said Tijuana. I don't know.
No. Yeah,
Tijuana.
Downtown Tijuana. There's like an area.
She said Morocco. She said Phuket. She said Santa Monica. She said, what else you said? You said like 9 different countries in like 3 different continents. But I don't know what this exactly reminds me of. But the outside definitely reminds me of Old Phuket. This is funny because you have a whole bunch of different names. You have Arab Street. You have Baghdad Street. You have Haji Boulevard. You have so many different stuff. Definitely, this is the Muslim prominent area. Like I said, the mosque is right behind us, right here. But it's pretty peaceful, pretty clean, chill. There's a lot of food here.
Yeah.
Word of advice is if you want a magnet, don't go at these shops. There's a shop right behind me, so right in front of the mosque, like 3 doors down.
Old guy, very old guy.
The magnets are like a third or half the price.
Yeah.
So just go there.
Cheap.
And now we've moved on to our next area. Funny thing is, do you remember what Kat said earlier about not going to things she bookmarked? Where are we at now?
Little India.
Who wanted to go to Little India?
Moi.
All right, 2 times in one video, one trip, in one day at places. But we're in Little India right now. We're gonna explore. We just made our way, obviously, from the Muslim area. I don't know what the heck it's called. Yeah, Kampong Glam. And now we're at Little India, so we're gonna explore a little bit. So we're walking right now, and why I found one of those customer service ladies behind me on her break. That's why you never had good signal, because they be out using their phone service and roaming rather than on some good Wi-Fi at home. She out here on her break, waiting for her food to be made, answering your phone calls when you complain about your cell phone service, when you complain about your gas bill. She out here on the street answering calls. It is day 3. And as you can tell, I just exited the SkyTrain. We are at Changi International Airport right now because we are leaving and making our way to Jakarta. But I wanted to check out the amazing
Singapore Botanical Gardens, which is the only World UNESCO Heritage Site in Singapore and the only botanical gardens on the entire list. We actually did a full video, so make sure you click that to watch our 50-minute walking tour video of this. And the best thing is it actually is free. But in the morning we stopped by Vernacular Coffee, which is like a specialty cafe, which was like 10 minutes from our hotel. And on the way to our train station, they have specialty coffees from all around the world, Kenya, Indonesia, and so on. And all of this was about $24 US. Those butter tater tots, honey butter, fire.
amazing jewel here at the Changi Airport. Unfortunately, it's the whole story. Kat and I got here about 2 hours ago. We checked into the airport super quick, 10-15 minutes. Singapore International Immigration is like really fast because they use a lot of QR codes and scanners and like it's really fast. But we're like getting there, we checked our bags, so we don't have that much bags we're lugging around, but our baby peed, so we're trying to just figure that out. We walked and he was like, oh, it's in the public area. We did see the jewel, but it took us about 10 to 15 minutes of walking, and then we had to ride the train pretty much twice to see about 30 seconds of it, or maybe a minute total. And then we went to the lounge real quick. That's why I'm by myself, because we dropped the baby off. Kat has the baby, she's eating. I ate real quick and head right back out just to grab this video for you all. But yeah, so the train does slow down slightly when you get around going from Terminal 3 to Terminal 2. But like I said, it's only like a 1-minute view. I rode the train twice in 2 directions, so 4 times to get about 1 minute worth of clips. That took about 20 minutes.
So here's how you plan accordingly.
Basically, no matter where you check in, you have to go from T3 to T2 to get this jewel experience. If you want to actually go to the jewel, like be right downstairs, you have to be outside of the airport. They don't tell you that, especially on this map. And I guess I didn't read enough captions for the Instagram, but it's outside the airport. It's in the public area. So for us to go, we had to clear immigration, go inside, come back in immigration, and then come back. Too much.
Oh, and if you decide to just do a small 6-7 hour layover, they do have a free stopover tour program. And so I went to the lounge, got a drink, some snacks. Didn't have time to take a nap, but I had to shower because that Singapore Gardens, it was like 100 degrees. So I was able to take a shower. They had soap, shampoo, towels, and all of that. And I even got to dry off with these hair dryers to get onto a flight with fresh new clothes.
This is like a really beautiful airport. Once you get in from Terminal 3 immigration, you have like a Louis V store right next outside of it. But that's not the craziest part. The craziest part to me is that with the jewel and everything here, this is one of like 7-8 airports in the world that don't charge like a transportation fee. So that means you don't pay an extra fee, just as a passenger at least, just to use this terminal, just to be able to use the toilet for your plane to park here. And for it to have all this stuff and be voted best airport in the world like 13 years. For the last 3 years, I know for sure it's been voted best airport, but 13 years total, like that is crazy. We have a bunch of other airports, especially if you're flying out of London, Heathrow. The fee to use that airport is ridiculous. So we're points people to book with points. It costs so much money because every other airport might cost $5, $11. That airport, no matter what company you use, what type of points you use, it's always going to cost you over 120. I think we paid like $200 because of the airport
fee. But now it's time to leave the airport as we're going to our next country, which is Indonesia. We're going to spend 2 weeks going from Jakarta to Bali, city to beach, and everything in between. So if you want to watch that video, make sure you click that link right here because it'll be coming soon.